Hello everybody. The Elden Ring DLC is finally announced, alongside a gorgeous artwork which already led to a lot of speculation. Today I would like to present my very own take on the whole matter. Of course I'm going to talk about the artwork because it is basically the main source of information we have at the moment. But first I would like to talk about another hint, the title of the DLC itself. Shadow of the Erdtree. A lot of people think that this is a pretty generic title, me included, but I think From Software is going to try to fool us here a little bit. From Software likes to recontextualize the meaning, or rather the very idea of certain words. For example, the use of the word humanity in Dark Souls or insight in Bloodborne. Of course, they did the very similar thing in Elden Ring with the word shadow. As we all know, a shadow in the universe of Elden Ring refers to an agent of the greater will. A fail-safe, so to say, granted to Empyreans to put them back on track or downright execute them if they don't fulfill the biddings of the greater will. Because of the history of From Software, I think the Erdtree itself could have a shadow, like Blight or Malekith. I don't think that this will be the main focus of the DLC, but rather a piece of the puzzle that clears up a little bit more of the already established lore. So, how do I back this up? Why should the Erdtree have a shadow? In my opinion, it is very possible, even likely, that the Erdtree is something else than it seems at first glance. If we follow established rules of the Elden Ring universe, this specifically means that the original form of the Erdtree must have been an Empyrean. Can we back this idea up? I think we can, through environmental design and of course item descriptions. First, the environmental hints. There is a statue of a Moses-like figure referred to as Elden John by the community, or at least by Quelaag's community. Quelaag, of course, is an already established lore hunter, and she's been around since the days of Dark Souls at least, so she's one of the OGs. Definitely check her out if you don't already know about her. But back on topic. It seems like Elden John is a pretty ancient guy who lived in tune with nature and all the folks who are now disrespected or disregarded, like the Misbegotten or the Omen. You can see pretty much all of these outcast races praying to his statues, and these statues are scattered all across the lands between. So this was a guy that was basically universally loved in ancient times. Maybe during the age of the Crucible, and maybe he was not just loved but respected like a god, like America nowadays. Of course, this is speculation, but it is not impossible. His whole design and the sheer amount of his statues tell a lot about his importance. But the most interesting part of his design is the fact that it looks like he's transforming into a tree. His beard looks a lot like roots, and one of his legs is even directly replaced by roots. Another more prominent figure seems to hint even more in the same direction. Miquella. In Malenia's boss room, you can see the roots of the Halig tree. Embedded in these roots is a humanoid head with a torso and arms. Its face is looking directly at Malenia, who is sitting at the base, gently holding hands with this giant root structure. It is of course heavily implied here that this root structure is Miquella. It is a bit confusing because he is in his cocoon in Mog's boss room as well. My theory on this is that his essence or his soul, or the very part that makes him up, passed on to the root structure of the Halig tree or the Halig tree itself. This would also explain why Malenia isn't going after Mog. I think she knows that Miquella is safe. I think her ramblings about his return refers to him being in the dreamlands of Saint Trina. And she's basically just waiting for him to come back to his presence in the here and now. So this would be an Empyrean who turned into a tree that attempted to become an Erdtree. To me, these are pretty solid hints. So, onto the item descriptions. These item descriptions kind of prove my point and simultaneously hint at the most likely Empyrean candidate in question, which is the Gloam-Eyed Queen. The Black Flame Ritual incantation states, "The Gloam-Eyed Queen led the apostles. It is said that she was an Empyrean chosen by the Fingers." This description more or less confirms that she is/was an Empyrean. The description of the Godskin noblehood reads, "Nobles are the most ancient apostles who are said to have assimilated inhuman physiology, not unlike the Crucible, the Erdtree in its primordial form." This one not only says that the Erdtree changed its physiology, but that it changed into an inhuman form, or in other words, its base form was that of a human. If my theory is correct, the question remains, who or what is the Erdtree's shadow, and why should we even care about it? My best guess would be the Elden beast. It appears directly after the defeat of Radagon, so we're basically about to conquer the Erdtree when it snaps in, like a failsafe. This is super vague, and I myself don't really believe in this theory, but it would clear up the purpose and the sudden appearance of the Elden beast. I rather think that the pieces to this puzzle wait for us in the DLC, and through that, we're not able to figure it out yet. This kind of was always the deal or purpose of DLC in past entries by From Software. It was like this big revealed chapter or this big plot twist handed out to us through DLC. And I don't think that it will be any different this time around. Alright, onto the analysis of the DLC artwork. This will be a kind of quick and dirty one because there's already so much said about it, and I agree with a lot of things that are believed by the community. I just have some small additions that could be interesting. So, I believe that Mikola is the person on Torrent. I believe the tree in the background is the Erdtree corrupted by Deathblight, and I believe the DLC will take place in the Dream Realms or in Godwin's mind. A similar situation like with the boss fight against Fortisax. On to more detailed stuff. To me, these ghostly gravestones and these vast fields of wheat represent the harvest of souls or death by the Erdtree. This is of course hinting towards the Erdtree burials, basically the recycling of souls or body mass. But this could also imply that this practice is a bit more sinister than we believe. There is a yokai in Japanese folklore called Yuboku. It is a tree that preys on human blood. It waits until someone passes underneath it and then it stabs it to death, so that the blood of its victim will spill all over its roots. These trees start out as normal trees and turn into Yuboku as a result of the blood shed by warriors on large warfields. So maybe the Shattering War turned the Erdtree into a Yuboku. Another detail in the artwork is the fog. This could imply that we're maybe at the borders of the lands between. The final detail I want to point out is the Erdtree in this image. It looks like a double helix that's breaking apart, that's basically dying. To me, this fits in very well with Godwin's whole theme, with the theme of the Prince of Death. And because of that, I believe that Godwin will also play a major part in the DLC. The very last thing I want to mention is the phrase that accompanied the announcement. Rise tarnished and let us walk a new path together. To me, this totally sounds like something that Mikola would say to us. He would basically invite us in to join his rebellion against the Erdtree. I could absolutely imagine a scenario similar to that of Slave Knight Gale in Dark Souls 3 and the Ringed City DLC, where Mikola's basically guiding us through this DLC towards its destination, towards a big reveal or a big plot twist. I personally would absolutely love something like this. It would be a very welcome breath of fresh air to for once encounter one of those legends mentioned in the game and basically go onto a mission with him. Anyways, that is all I have on the matter, and through that this is the end of the video. Thank you all very much for listening to me. I really hope that this was entertaining or insightful or at least a good time. Again, thank you very much and goodbye. Until next time.